different ways. I'm going to go through these different ways that we do that real quick, but if you want to dive a little deeper and find out more info, they are going to drop the links in the chat box so you can save those, look at them later. But the first way we do this is through Be the One Activate clubs. We don't want our young people thinking that you've got to go to another country to be a missionary. Every day, young people are sitting in classrooms surrounded by people who need to be loved and hear about Jesus. And we are equipping young leaders to start these clubs in schools nationally and internationally where they can be active in their faith year round. We actually have some of our high school Activate Club leaders hopping on the call, learning tonight. And so you guys hype them up in the chat, say what's up, shout them out. These are young leaders who are choosing to be missionaries in the school system. And we are just so excited about that. The next two ways that I'm going to give you that Be the One is investing in the next generation are specific ways that youth groups and Activate clubs can be a part of what we're doing, which is the Be the One conference and our local mission trips. We are just shy of 1 month away from the Be the One conference, which is a 3-day conference for young people. We're going to have speakers, worship, breakout groups. It's going to be so much fun. Our students need to be put in situations where they can experience the presence of God. And that is what is going to happen at this conference. There's also going to be leadership sessions for youth pastors and leaders. So bring a group. You don't want to miss it. Our local mission trips are the next way you can jump in and be involved right now. If you were to take a summer camp and a mission trip and put those two things together, you'd get the Be the One local trip. These mission trips are where young people can touch ministry through prayer, sharing their story, and serving others. It's 1 week of doing missions in NWA. So don't miss out on bringing a group of your people to one of these life-changing opportunities. And we do have a few other opportunities that I'm just going to touch on real quick so you know what all God is doing. We've got a summer internship for young adults. It's 10 weeks where young adults get hands-on ministry training. We also have Be the One Missions. We are a missions organization that sends people to the nations. We started with Belize, and now we're in the process of sending a family to Rwanda. Come on, Be the One is growing and expanding. We're so excited. So shout out to the Clousings and the Helmus, the first international Be the One missionaries. And they're basically reproducing everything that God is doing in the States in other nations, starting Activate clubs, discipling young people. And we do offer international mission trips for individuals and youth groups. And once a young person completes a local internship, they also have the opportunity to do an international internship as well. And so to sum all of this up, we just want you to see God is moving. We are a hub that is training leaders to go into the ministry, the mission field, or the marketplace. And we want to invite you to be a part of what God is doing. And so the best way to stay up to date on all of this is to follow us on social media. And so the link to do that will be in the chat.
That is right. And I know that was a lot of information, but really we just want you to know that this is a ministry that is active in making a difference in this generation. If we haven't had the pleasure of meeting yet, my name is Mitch Holland. And speaking of being active, I just want to talk to you for a second about our chat box. We've already been doing a great job, but just so that you know, we want to blow that up. See, here's the deal. Connecting through a screen can be really hard, but in using the chat box, that's a way that we can kind of break down that wall. We want to interact with you. We want to hear what God is doing in your life. So let's get those fingers warmed up. And I want to know, where are you from and where are you winning in ministry? So where are you from and where are you winning? As you type, I will go first. I'm from Jonesboro, Arkansas, but I've been based in Rogers for the last 8 years. And one of the wins that we have recently had just in our ministry is there's a young girl who had joined us for one of our local trips in this past summer. And she was so impacted by what we had done, what we had taught. She broke free of insecurity, found some freedom. And so she actually went back to her hometown states away and started the first ever Activate Club in her state. So come on, Be the One Kentucky. We're super excited. But because of her passion for ministry, she's gotten her whole youth group excited to come join us this upcoming summer on a local trip. And so we're super excited just to know like a seed was planted and harvest came. So that's just one thing for us here at Be the One that we've been super pumped about. So let's see. We've got, come on, Northwest Arkansas hosting Activate clubs at your house every week. Come on, that is a big deal. Thank you for doing that. We've had altars full of teenagers receiving freedom and leaders laying hands on them in prayer. Come on, these are my people. Activate club, numbers higher than any. Come on, Activate club in Natchitoches. Man, these are our people. See, Bowling Green, Kentucky, but from Ohio, new to all this. Hey, welcome. That's what this is for. We're having a good time. Seeing fruit as we prepare. Come on, Belmopam, Belize. That's Caleb. I love Caleb. Just started a new Activate club with other people your age. That's it. We've got Bentonville leading an Activate club. Come on, everybody who's an Activate club leader, those are my people. They are making a difference in their school. They're making a difference in where they're at. I'm super proud of them. Well, as we have just kind of moved people in this direction of using the chat box, I do want to ask that if you are on this call and you did not sign up, one, thank you so much for coming. Thank you for being a part of everything that we're doing. We're going to ask that you would complete the form. We're actually going to send that in the chat really fast. And we want to make sure that we have everybody's contact information because this is a network. This is a family. Lastly, if you have not already, go ahead and hit that mute button. But then also, if possible, we would love for you to turn on your camera. The reason why we do this, come on, at Be the One, we've got a value that see people. So we want to see you. We want to look into your eyes. We want to speak to right where you're at. And so it can be a challenge to connect over a screen, but we're going to move past that challenge. And so we would love to see you and your team.
Listen, we're about to get started in like 1 minute, but I just wanted to hop on. And as a youth leader, I know that sometimes you need more than just leadership training. Sometimes you need to connect with other people in ministry because it broadens your perspective, or you need a moment in the presence of God. Like there's just been moments in ministry, let's just be honest, that have gotten heavy. And I have needed more than just a new technique or another curriculum or a new strategy. I've needed a moment in his presence. And we hope that today, come on, you can take off your leadership hat for a second. Come on, you don't have to worry about the transitions. Come on, you don't have to worry about if your youth band is going to sing in the right key. Come on, somebody. We want you to be in this call and to receive tonight. And so it is my pleasure and it is my honor to pass it over to our pastor, to my spiritual father, to someone who has had a significant impact in my life and who has been leading and making a difference in the next generation for over 25 years. Come on, the founder and CEO of Be the One Ministries. Y'all help me show some honor, drop some emojis in the chat for Pastor Stephen Sexton.
What's up? What's up? I am so excited to spend some time with you guys. Listen, we are praying for you. We know that ministry is all in. Come on, y'all. It's all in. There's pressures and problems and people and decisions. And like, we want you to go further, faster. That's the goal. That's why we set this up. I remember starting out as a youth pastor and just wanting my pastor, and we had a smaller church at that time. We just weren't able to financially send my team to an event or to a big conference. And so I just wanted to start these free moments for you to just, us to pour into you, for you to work on your relationship with your pastor, with your team, with yourself. And so that's what the whole idea of this Cultivate Coaching is that we want to pause, speak into your life so that you can go further, faster. So shout out to you for jumping on the call. You could be doing a lot of other things this Thursday night, but you are growing and you are learning and you are saying, come on, I'm ready to be the one. So come on, let me applaud you. Well, I want to get right into it. So we're going to do just a little bit of different this time. So I'm going to speak probably for about 17 minutes. And then we're going to break into these groups and we want to pray. Like one of the things that I love about Zoom is you can be wherever you are, and we can share the gospel, encourage you. But I want to have moments where we can pray for each other. And so we're going to have these breakout groups towards the end. And I encourage you, as you're writing down, maybe take some notes. And we're working hard to make this quality. So I'll encourage you, take some notes, write some stuff, get your phone out, begin to write these things down so that you can use them. Like, we don't want you to assimilate knowledge. We want you to actually have a practical step that you can use this next week. And so anyway, super excited about it. Write down one or two things that really stuck out to you. And then when you jump into your group, maybe you guys can pray over those. So today is about 5 courageous conversations that you are going to have. Come on, listen, first with yourself and then with the people you lead. Let me pause. You need to be talking to yourself. I know I'm not talking about crazy talk. I'm not talking about, mentally insane. I'm saying that you've got to sometimes preach to yourself, and you've got to lean into courageous conversations with your heart and then with the people on your team. Ecclesiastes chapter 3, verse 7 says, a time to tear, a time to sow, a time to keep silent, and a time to speak. And you, come on, listen, are going to have moments when you speak to yourself and speak to the people on your team. For any moment of God to happen in your life, we're talking about really 5 major conversations that you're going to have with yourself. The first one is this. I think they already showed it to you. They got a little bit excited. The first one is this, the yes conversation. Come on, everybody just type in yes right there in the comment section. The yes conversation. I want to go back like 35 years when I'm at the altar, people are speaking, and I just want to say yes to God. Matthew chapter 5, verse 37 says this, let what you say be simple, yes or no. Anything more is from the evil one. In other words, we don't manipulate people with maybes. God can't hold us accountable with a maybe. You need to be able to give your yes. Now let's think about this. For any moment of God to happen in your life, a yes is required. You got to be able to give your yes. Without a yes, opportunities, territory, and abilities stay in the category of potential. We don't believe that God gave you potential for you not to steward. The first courageous conversation that you'll have to have with yourself and the people that you lead is to say yes. In other words, you have to push yourself to say yes. It's easy to become a negative first responder. Giving your yes is spiritual. Abraham gave a yes to go to a new land. Moses gave a yes to return to Egypt and lead God's people out of bondage. Esther gave her yes and walked unannounced, come on, to the king. If you're beginning in ministry, you have to say yes. Yes, I'll do that. Yes, I don't know how. Yes, that feels way beyond my capacity. Yes, I am totally insecure. Yes, I'll pray. Yes, I'll show up early. Yes, I'll open the door. Yes, I'll do. Yes, I'll bring a snack. Yes. Come on. If you're beginning, you're in the yes conversation. Think about moments where you've seen young parents teach their child. Think about a 3, a 4, and a 5-year-old. When a parent gives a command to a child, what do they say? No. You have to train them to say yes, because no is in our nature. I don't want to make room. I don't want to make time. I don't want to deny myself. Your yes creates capacity. It creates opportunity. It creates experience. The only time you start at the top is when you're digging a hole. Come on, think about that. You aren't going to just start an incredible ministry. Everything that you have been given is going to start with seed, and yes is your seed. I know many already, or maybe in ministry, or doing some sort of ministry. Giving your yes is a courageous conversation that you're going to have to do for yourself, because we all can come up with excuses to stay comfortable. God isn't interested in your comfort. He wants you to be the one that he has created you, come on somebody, to be. When you give your yes, it changes the trajectory of your life. Come on, listen. Giving your yes means you've considered the cost. It means that you understand the restrictions. It means that you will start it and you will not flake out. Come on. Y'all better throw some amens up in this. You're not allowing yourself to be hung up by what hinders you. You're hoping for more. That's what your yes does. Many people will not say yes because they feel like they would be fake. Many people will not say yes because they have issues. Many people will not say yes because of shame. And I'm telling you, here are the takeaways from this first one. Where have you been reluctant to say yes? To your pastor, to your leader? What student do you need to connect with and explain right now the importance of giving your yes? Your yes. And I'm going to come back to this in a second. Go back, Kylie or Ian, go back to the pyramid. I want them to see something real quick. Look at this pyramid. Yes starts the work. And so some of you are in another season and you're overwhelmed by all that you're doing. But if we don't ask young people to take, hey, will you come serve? Will you come 30 minutes early for youth group? Hey, will you come help me? Will you come work? Can we jump online together? You help me organize something. Hey, will you help? Their yes changes everything. What student do you need to talk to? You leaders, people on the mission field, Caleb, everybody doing Activate clubs. You still got to be asking people, will you come help me? Get that yes. What is God asking you to give up or move into that you need to say yes to? Here's the second one. Come on. Is that good? Everybody got the first one. The second one is the no conversation. Come on. The no conversation. One of the hardest things to do is to say no. The word no just feels rude. It's especially after it looks, it took so long for you to give your yes. Then you got to start saying no. But I need you to know this. Your next conversation that you'll wrestle with within yourself and the people you lead is you have to empower your leaders to say no. Now, this is hard because some of you are in the no phase, but you're leading people in the yes phase. And so some leaders are burned out and they actually have a wrong worldview. And so what happens is the ministry becomes a burden. And so they don't want to ask anybody else because they don't want to put that pressure. But the reason there's pressure on you is because of the next thing that we're about to talk about. Because when you begin to put a lot on you, then as a leader, you should build it. You should grow it. So now you said yes to one thing, and all of a sudden, you now have all of this, and you're like, I'm running out of room. But that's why you got to say no. Many times we say yes to avoid conflict. We don't want people to be angry with us. We say yes because we want people to think that we're friendly or nice. And here's what happens. When you say yes to everything, you become overextended and you now have unrealistic expectations. The word no helps bring clarity to purpose. God wants you to live, come on, listen, loving the ministry. I'm going to slow down. Some of you don't love it. You're exhausted. You're beat down. You have so much to do. If you're not loving it, then you're holding too much. And that actually means that you're not building and asking people to say yes. So that's why you're holding it for too long, because you can't do anymore. You can't do, listen, what you want to do if you're always overextended. Yes, there are times and seasons that we run hard and we run long, but that should be short term, a couple weeks. The goal in ministry is to not make a lifestyle of being overextended. No helps release the pressure of what you can't do. No conversations free you to focus on what you really have said yes to. No actually allows you to continue saying yes. Come on, type down no in the comment section. Don't forfeit what is great in life for what is good. It's sad that so many leaders believe being nice is better than being clear. Clear. When we are not clear, there is no peace. It's extremely hard to lead when you're not being clear. No brings clarity. Come on, go back to the child. Do not put that fork into the electrical outlet. No. For all of us, it's important that we aren't saying no because we don't want to submit to leadership or we're being prideful. We're saying no, not to say no, not to be ugly. We absolutely submit to authority. When your pastor wants something extra done, the answer is yes. When your pastor wants you to lead a new project because he leans on you and you're good at what you do, that's when you have a conversation and say, hey, listen, I would love to do this, but if I say yes to this and this, then what happens to this? Would you rather me do these two things and pull someone up? Or do you really want me to focus on this and you're just using my giftings because I'm close, I'm available, and you trust me? Come on, listen. That's how you help your leaders. Come on, this is how we do it. You need to say no. Where do you need to say no? And if you start saying yes and growing, here's the deal. An overpacked schedule, where do you need to say no? Come on, busyness is not always productive. People who want to distract you from your mission. Oh, you are so called. Come help me. Come do this. Come do this. And you're like, I'm called with a mission. I'm leading an Activate club. Now you want me to go over here and do this and do this. And now I'm doing 17 other things. And my Activate club is not good. It's not growing. My youth student ministry is not growing because I'm preaching 3 or 4 other nights. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. All good things. But if you don't say no, then you can't say yes to what God has really called you to do. Come on. People will promise you the easy road. You got to say no. When character is left behind, you say no. When you're tempted to birth too many ideas, come on, listen. I've learned this the hard way. Some of you have incredible ideas. You're birthing too many things. Say no. And your no is not forever. Your no is just not now. Here's a third one, is the accountability conversation. Come on, the accountability conversation. Romans chapter 14, verse 12. So then, let each of us give an account to himself, to God, of himself to God. Like you're going to give an account of yourself, what you thought. Nobody knows your motives, your heart, your agenda. Proverbs 27:17. Iron sharpens iron, and one man sharpens another. In other words, we have to allow the accountability conversation. As you move into influence, there will always be accountability. It comes from many different directions. It doesn't matter where you sit on the bus, there is always a place of accountability for you. The accountability conversation means that you're allowing challenge and feedback. Listen, you're not allowing people to tear you down. You're not allowing, come on, listen, people to destroy and start strife and be ugly. But when a leader is underneath you, you are okay with them challenging the process. Your worship leader may say, hey, listen, I'm trying to do the best with worship, but I've got a mic that's busted. Well, that's not offensive to you. Your small group leader may say, hey, listen, I want to do a really good job, and you want me to lead this, but I don't have the content. You told me you would send me the content, and I'm getting the content 1 hour before my group. Come on. Challenge is okay. We don't want to be insecure leaders. It's naive to think that we can do everything right. Most people judge others by their actions, but we want to judge, and we oftentimes want to judge ourselves by our intentions. Come on, I'm going to say that again. We often judge other people by their actions, but we judge ourselves by our intentions. Well, I didn't mean to do that. I know, but you didn't say it, and so we didn't know. And so you said be here at 6:30, so I was here at 6:30. Come on, listen. Meaning we always give everybody the benefit of the doubt. for you to continue maturing and developing, you will have to overcome and welcome the accountability conversation. This means that you allow coaching, correction, and confrontation. Come on, somebody. Say ow if you need to. You coach yourself. You correct yourself. You allow confrontation to move you. Come on, to keep you humble. A humble leader is a leader that gets to continue. The more we gain responsibility, the more accountability there is. This means that you'll have to hold yourself accountable and others accountable. You don't let anybody, listen, we got to be careful. We cannot be passive leaders. That doesn't mean we jump on everybody in 1 second, but we have to remember that the accountability conversation is important for you and for others. Did you turn in your receipts? Did you turn the channel when that image came on? Did you remove that offense in your heart? Did you give your best to that sermon, event, conversation, moment, small group? Did you do that? Were you actually clear enough? Did you think you were clear, but you weren't clear? Did I work it out? Come on, out of my heart. Did I make that announcement to the leadership team? Did I really do that? Or did I just get mad that everybody didn't show up, but nobody really knew and it wasn't clear? Intentional yeses, intentional nos. You will be in positions, listen, for accountability. So let me give you just a few more. Are you with me? Remember that people are not a problem to be fixed. They are seeds that need to be planted. Come on, go ahead and mute your mic. There is always growth and process. Come on, I'm giving you some wisdom here. Lead with vision. Be soft, be strong, be clear, be compelling. Don't always start with what they did wrong. Give them the why. Why are we doing this? Are we going to show up late? Can I tell you, if you're frustrated about the culture, you've allowed it. You've allowed it. Whatever you don't enforce, you allow. Your team, do they text you back? Do they text you back? Does your team forget to finish the task? When you lead, do you lead with confidence, knowing that God has called you? And you're not perfect, but listen, you're available. All I'm asking you is, listen, come on, have the accountability conversation. Here's the fourth one. You have to have the Lord, I surrender conversation. Galatians chapter 2, verse 20. I've been crucified with Christ. I no longer live, but Christ who lives within me. And the life that I now live by the flesh, I live, come on, by faith in the Son of God who loved me and gave himself up for me. Come on. There are moments that you don't get to control people. You don't get to control the problem. Sure, we fix a lot of things, but there are things that you don't get to control certain things. And I see so many people leave the ministry because of an area they're still battling or a hurt that they experienced. And that's when you have the surrender conversation. There is no ministry where people don't get hurt. It doesn't exist. Jesus had a ministry and Judas hung himself. And Jesus was the best leader. He was God. Listen, I'm just trying to tell you that you've got to surrender a lot of things to the Lord if you're going to continue. Listen, everyone on your team has motives, agendas, callings, giftings, personality, backgrounds. Just because you're the leader doesn't mean that you can fix every problem or every pressure. There will be moments that you will have to lean and surrender to the Lord the heaviness that you feel. Come on. Lord, I got to surrender that attack, that offense. Come on. I got to surrender them challenging the vision, my own frustrations. Why am I acting like that? Why was I offensive? Why am I frustrated? What's triggering in me? Why am I acting like that? I need to go surrender this to the Lord. I'm going to surrender money. Oh, we don't have enough money in my Activate Club. We don't have enough money in my youth group. I can't get what I want to do. I just have all this desire in my heart and nothing is happening. Timing, place, pace, church, teams, nobody's coming, attempts, you are going to have to surrender to the Lord. Come on. Take 5 seconds and just write surrender in the comment line. And let's just slow this down. Surrender. What are you? The issue with your pastor? Surrender. The issue with a leader? Surrender. You have an Activate Club co-leader or helper, and they're frustrating you, and it's been on you, and you need to surrender that before you have that conversation, or it's not going to go good. Here's my last one. I hope you guys have enjoyed this. Is where's the love conversation? You're going to have the love conversation. 1 Corinthians chapter 16, 14. Let all that you do be done in, come on, say it, love. Love. It's so easy to get into the mode of fixing problems, moving fast, dealing with people. And if you're not careful, love will evaporate in your life. And here's what will enter: lust. Lust will enter. Lust says, I want more and more. It's never enough. Lust screams, give me, give me, give me. Leaders, we got to stay in love. You got to have a love conversation. How is my love? Do I care about who the people are that I'm leading, or do I only care about what they're doing? Come on, y'all better, come on, listen. The only way to stay in love is to stay close to Jesus. Jesus fills up our ability to walk in love with his presence, and in his and him being in position in our life. Then we are able to live love out loud. Come on, we all get annoyed. But I'm asking you, don't lose your love. In every sermon, in every meeting, in every moment, in every event, in every conversation, love. You need to ask yourself, here's the conversation. Where's the love in this moment? Do I feel like I am inconvenienced more than I care for them? The Bible tells us that love is a measure of sacrifice. Jesus tells us that he didn't come to, look at me, to be served, but he came to serve others. The love conversations are as follows. You can write a few of these down. We got to remember that everyone has a past. We have to understand that everyone is working through something. That teenager, that 13-year-old, that 15-year-old, the 18-year-old, the 30-year-old, come on. Everybody's carrying something. We give grace. We give mercy. We are generous in taking care of our people. We move toward compassion and not control. We model sacrifice. We forgive. Listen, completely. For all of you battling a little bit for little offense, if you're working through some forgiveness issues, come on, just throw a hand in there. Here's what I would say. This is what I want you to ponder. No one will ever treat you as worse as you've treated Jesus. No one will ever treat you as worse as you've treated Jesus. Our sin nailed Jesus to the cross. And so I'm asking you to give everybody a break. People won't remember how intelligent, gifted, or organized you are. They will remember how you loved them. In other words, how did you make them feel? We're about to jump into our breakout groups, and I just want to look at you real quick. Teenagers, young adults, middle-aged adults, people who care about the next generation. These are 5 conversations that I've had to wrestle with in my own life. And these are reminders for me. And I'm asking you not to jump off. I'm asking you to allow our groups. And I think that there's going to be a time of prayer and just a little bit of honesty, a little bit of transparency. And so anyway, we love you. Thank you for jumping on. And we believe that God is doing some incredible things through you. Thank you for being the one.
Man, that was so good. I took so many notes, and like Pastor Stephen said, we are getting ready to jump in our breakout room. So you'll see a notification pop up on your screen letting you know, hey, you've been added to this room. We're going to ask that you just go ahead and accept that here in a second. But part of our culture at Be The One is we assume a level 10. So what that means is that we already assume that you like us until you tell us that you don't. Okay. And so when we jump in these groups, this is not a time for more content necessarily. This is a time for communication. This is a time for connection. And so we do want you to turn your camera on, unmute your mic. We are going to talk through maybe some things that stood out to us. And then we want to pray. We want to pray for you. We want to believe with you. Maybe you're in a winning season and you need somebody to celebrate with you. We want to be those people. Or maybe you're in a dry season or in a season where you're like, you know what? I really need to surrender in this moment. And we want to be those people who surround you with prayer and lift you up and be those voices. So they are going to start sending those notifications out right now, and we will see you in the breakout rooms.
All right. Well, I think everyone's coming back from their breakout groups. I don't know about y'all's groups, but my group was pretty awesome. We got so focused on sharing and hearing each other's stories that we almost didn't have enough time to share about what we needed prayer for. So, but that's what it's about. We want to connect. We want to hear your stories. And being in ministry, it's always helpful to be around other people in ministry who are walking through the same things, doing the same things. And this is a place where you can do that. And as we wrap up, I do want to give you a couple of next steps. This is not the end. Even though it's the end of this call, we do have more for you. The first is this event is totally free. But if you do want to partner with the Vision to Be the One, we want to give you the opportunity to do that. All that we do at Be the One is possible because of generosity. And so right now we are in the 200 campaign. And what this is once we get all 200 of these squares sponsored, we will be able to fully fund 6 Activate clubs in public schools and also sponsor 4 students to attend the Be the One local trips. And so your donations are literally opening the opportunity for young people to be missionaries. And so if you choose to participate in this, it really can change someone's future. And then the next is we want to stay connected with you. And so we want to invite you to join our GroupMe, Be the One Cultivate community. And so they will throw a link in the chat and we'll follow up with you after this call for you to join that GroupMe. And this is where we can stay connected with you, pray for you, and also update you about future Be the One opportunities. And then lastly, we want you to mark your calendar for our next Cultivate Coaching, which is on March 30th. It's going to be so good. Don't miss it. Tell a friend, tell someone else you know in ministry. But that's all we have for you guys today. We will see you soon, and we are praying over each of your ministries.